Everybody keeping Linda is coming for Christmas.
Oh,
with the family.
Oh, it's great.
Ellen said we're coming.
Here on behalf of the Rotary Club and on behalf of our Rotary International President, Bill Skelton, a man who's in charge of close to 1 million Rotarians across the world. We're here to dedicate this particular park to Eric McKinnen, a long time...
Speak up, Harvey, we can't hear you.
We're here to dedicate this park to Eric McKinnen, a long-time Cranbrook resident and Rotary member who contributed much to the community and to the club. And now I'd like to call on his son, Archie McKinnen, to say a few words.
Thank you. It's very nice to be here. As you probably know, my father was born in Cranbrook, born a Canadian. He was also had a mother named Macquarie and a father named McKinnon, so he had a Scotch heritage that he very much appreciated, and one of the things he was adamant about was that his name be spelt correctly. And I'm very pleased to be here and can see that his name in fact is spelled M-A-C-K and not M-C-K, so there's no mistake about that. I had good hopes. Norm Meadows had written my mother asking my mother to come to this ceremony today, and I noticed that he had written her name correctly, so I really came down with the expectations that in fact it would be spelled correctly. I would like to thank the citizens of Cranbrook and the Rotary Club of Cranbrook and the International Rotary Club for inviting me to come on behalf of my mother and the McKinnon family to see this memorial ceremony and witness the park. And I would also like to say I think it's a great honor for our family to have this gesture. I was thinking about the Rotary Club the other day and some of their Rotary tests, and one of the tests is it fair to all concerned? And I know, because I lived in this town and in this city for such a long time, and I know a number of men and women who grew up and were educated here and gave much to the community, and I'm sure that it was a very difficult decision for the Rotary Club to make, to choose my father over a number of other people I'm sure that are equally deserving to have a park named after them. But in any event, thank you so much, and it's a pleasure to be here.
And as known, Eric McKinnen as a friend and a fellow Rotarian. Bud Caldwell.
I'm only a notary. I'm not paid for speaking like these lawyers and judges and the international president. So I'm going to have to read this, but I was thinking of Archie when he mentioned his dad's Scottish heritage. Well, I told a story on Eric where he found a package of corn plasters on the street one day. So he went down and bought himself a pair of tight shoes. So it's off with the photographer. This is indeed an honor to be asked to say a few words about the man in whose name this park will soon be dedicated. I have known Eric most of my life, and the better I got to know him, the more my respect and admiration for the man grew. We were neighbors for 17 years. And incidentally, it's not in the speech, but he had to be a heck of a good neighbor. Anybody watched me remodel that house. It was a mess for years. And up until the time Eric and his charming wife Ivy moved to Victoria. He gave freely of his advice when requested, encouraged me in my business life, and gave me pride in being affiliated with him and the Masons and the Shriners and as a Rotarian. My life was certainly enriched by his presence, and I sorely miss him. He was a man of honor and reason. He was also a sportsman. As a young man, he excelled in track and field, as an ardent golfer, curler, and at one time he coached a junior hockey team in Kimberley, and when he moved back to Cranbrook, he became president of the Cranbrook Junior Hockey Association, and that was the big thing in hockey, other than the Kimberley Dynamite in the days. Well, it was very important at Cranbrook. Eric's financial support at all levels of sports was well known, even though he wanted absolutely no recognition of this support and vowed all secrecy about it. However, this was not to be. As we all know, bad news travels fast. Well, so does good news. Len Bohan, Murray Wheaton, Archie Reekie is standing over there, Vern Dahl, Frank Ferdy, and a host of others can attest to his generosity. However, his proudest moment was when his son Archie, winning an Olympic medal in sculling, and rightfully so. We of Cranbrook were also and still are proud of his son's achievement. As a preliminary speaker has said enough. There are many who knew Eric better than I, and they will feel that whatever I said will be sadly lacking. But to finish, I enjoyed his good humor, valued his friendship, and respected the man tremendously.
Call on Rotary International President Bill Skelton to say a few words to dedicate this park to the longtime Cranbrook resident, Eric McKinnen.
Thank you. Peggy and I are very pleased to be here in Cranbrook. We're particularly grateful that it worked out so that we could be here to a part of this dedication, because what has been told me about Mr. McKinnen, he certainly demonstrated all of those traits that we like to have in Rotarians, and certainly carried out the four-way test and all the principles of Rotary. This year, the theme of Rotary is Share Rotary, Serve People. And certainly this park here that will carry Eric McKinnon's name is here for Serve People. So I would congratulate the Rotary Club and everyone that had a part in establishing something here that will be so useful to so many people over, many, many years. So we thank you very much for making it possible for us to be a small part in the dedication of the Memorial Rotary Park. Thank you very much.
As a memorial to this date, we as the Rotary Club are going to get a bronze plaque to add to this, the sign here, which will signify that Rotary Park has been dedicated to Eric McKinnen September 1st, 1983 by Rotary International President Bill Skelton. Thank you very much. I do.
of the show, what starts at 2 o'clock.
That's 40 by 100, all you. I got a corner. Your way.
Showtime, just about to begin, folks. Showtime. What about our fire?
Good. Close it down, sir. We'll give them about 15 or 20 minutes. About 5 o'clock, we'll go across the hall. 15 or 20 minutes. Would anybody have a cold?
That's why you wear a hat.
I don't have a hat. I'm sorry, sir. Oh, is that?
Andy, beer. Where's the beer?
Oh yeah. You want the beer? Likely colder now.
Is it cold?
It's cold.
Cold beer. Good.
So if we can throw it in some in there, eh? In the coolers or something. Yeah, we throw it in there.
How slow this is going to go. Starts making wine and...
Yeah, they're making and bottling up, making it.
Hi, Carol. How are you?
Carol.
Jake?
Carol? Yes. Oh, Carol, how are you? Nice to meet you, Carol. You haven't been around all the time. No, I haven't. Where did I
Just getting
We'll hear any minute. We have to get one from that back table where there's just a few chairs. Yeah. We'll have to stick the stuff up. We put up as many.
Hitting the old golf ball. What else is new?
Picture of a thumb.
honored guests gathered with us. Bless this food to the strengthening and nurture of our bodies. Dear Lord, let us remember that this is a giving world, not a receiving one. Enable us to reach out and serve in our home clubs, in our communities, and internationally. Amen.
This is a close-up of people eating it.
Is to introduce your head table. If I get this screwed up, you'll know that my notes were made that way. Starting on my right, past District Governor Cliff Barley and his wife Jean from the Cranbrook Club. Next to them, our present District Governor, G. Rex McKinnen, and his wife, Marion. And next to Rex is Harold Henderson from Kelowna, and his wife, May, sorry, that's my fault. Harold is the aide to the president for 1983-84. He's also a trustee of Rotary Foundation 1983 through 86, and he was third vice president of Rotary International from 1977 through 78. Starting at the far left now, our district governor nominee, Gene Bronson, and his wife Mary from Spokane. Next to Gene is our president, Harvey Gansner, and his friend, Kathy. And lastly, of course, but not least, and he'll be more appropriately introduced shortly, our international president and his wife, and that is Bill and Peggy. And if you don't know who I am, I'm not going to tell you. I don't know whether this car belongs to one of our group or not, but it's a brown Honda, license number AMS080. You left your lights on.
Why we got served ahead of some of the rest of the Cranbrook Club especially. But then, you know, past district governors do have some advantages, and that just happened to be one of them. The other reason I'm up here, I'm sure, is that Leo figured that if anyone was going to make a mistake and miss a past district governor in this huge crowd we have here today, it wasn't going to be him. So I'll start with the and please would you just hold your applause until we're finished. I'll start with the grandfather of District 508, and I mean not only in terms of how many years ago he served as district governor, and that is Harry Harrison. Harry, would you please stand up wherever you are? Well, go ahead and clap, fellas. It's all right. I'm not going to call these in order of age or seniority. Harry was the only one that I could remember that was served for any length of time. But there's Bill Ramsey and Buddy. Would you please stand? Oh, incidentally, they're from Nelson. Harry Harrison also was from Nelson. Joe Cavender and Mary Cavender from Spokane North. Joe, over here. Mary. Bill Beechner and Nan from Richland. Bob Shreve and his wife Connie from Moscow. I just about said Moscow. Ernie McGauley and Evelyn from Rossland, over here. And then we had a comic in the crowd today, a fellow from Walla Walla. Where he got this badge of mine, I don't know, but it had Cliff Barley on it. And he went to get a drink at the stand, and the fellow took a look at him and he said, well, I'm not going to serve you any drinks because you're Cliff Barley and Cliff Barley doesn't drink. So that's one way they got rid of Dick Burley. So I don't know whether it's Dick Burley or Cliff Barley. Dick Burley and Penny from Walla Walla. Frank Shadag and Betty from Spokane, or from Cheney Medical Lake. And it's always nice to have a current district governor sitting in front of you, because if you make any mistakes, he can give you a kick in the shins and let you know that you're doing the wrong thing. Thank you, Rex. And then, last but certainly not least, Bob Small and Lavera from Spokane. These, ladies and gentlemen, are the fellows and their wives who have done so much and spent so much of their time and their energy in seeing that District 508 has become, I think, one of the finest districts in the Rotary world. Thank you. Incidentally, I'd better do this, or I might find that I'm cooking my own breakfast tomorrow morning. My wife, Jeannie.
Thanks, Cliff. The next project, and I mean project, was to have the presidents of the clubs in our district who are here introduce themselves. Now, that's going to take very loud voices, but I think we should give it a try. Starting over here at the front, any presidents from any clubs in our district, would you get up and just yell out your name and your club? Don't anybody panic, please.
Well, it's on, and I'm not sure that maybe you're making too much noise. Rotarians and ladies of Rotary, and friends and guests. Tonight is a unique occasion for the Cranbrook Rotary Club. This year we're 61 years old, and we've never had an international president visit us before. And when you consider that there are over 20,000 clubs in the world today, probably not going to happen for another 61 years. I'm
I'm not going to steal anybody's thunder by making any speeches, but I've got a few introductions to make and a few comments to make along the way. First of all, we have with us tonight somebody who indicates what Rotary is all about. We have a foundation scholarship winner from Kenya, John Iriwi, and he is studying at the University of Idaho. John is down here. John would stand. We also have a number of exchange students with us tonight. I'm going to ask the clubs who have them here to introduce them. The first one, and the one that's most important for Cranbrook, is an exchange student that has just returned from Brazil, Ralph Lund. Where are you, Ralph? Must be upstairs. Now, I know that the Fernie Club has their exchange student here. Would they introduce him, please? President Mike Onofrichuk.
Laurel, Peterito, where's Laurel?
Laurel's upstairs as well. Are there any other exchange students here tonight? Not only was Jill an exchange student, but she was at the Rotary Youth Leadership Awards camp last week, at which I was fortunate enough to be a presenter, and I can tell you that's a real experience. Any other exchange students here tonight? What happened to Kimberly? All right, one more introduction. We have with us tonight Jim Wickens. Jim was our RILA student last year, and he was a counselor this year. And I can tell you that anybody here that doesn't know what RILA means, I'm sure that Jim and Jill can tell you. It's an experience that is second to none. And if Rotary had no other youth program than that one, that's all they would need. That was William Mitchellbanks. He's the director of the camp, and he's from the Crescent Club. William, would you stand up? Without William, the camp wouldn't be quite what it is, believe me. Now to the more formal parts. The first person I wish to call upon is somebody who's very special to the Cranbrook Club. He was your chef tonight, and he is the mayor of Cranbrook, Ty Coulter.
Thank you very much, Leo. President Bill, Peggy, fellow Rotarians, ladies in Rotary, guests, ladies and gentlemen. I so wish that my father could have been here tonight, because as many of you from the Fernie Club at least know, and from Kimberley and Cranbrook, my father was a Rotarian in the Fernie Rotary Club for more than 40 years. He also really brought this tradition of barbecuing a prime rib into this part of the world through his own creativity and ingeniousness. He was a man who lived what we espouse in Rotary. And he didn't just bring it to Rotary, he brought it wherever he went in the community that he served. And he didn't restrict it just to Fernie, he brought it to Cranbrook or to Kimberley or to Spokane or wherever he went. And I know that he's with us here tonight, and I'm so pleased that we were all able to join as Rotarians to provide this evening for you. I want you to know that I'm sure my father would be proud that his tradition lives on. And he would be even more proud with the spirit in which this evening was presented. The dinner tonight was really provided by Rotarians. There was no catering done by anyone except Rotarians with the assistance of the sweetheart of Fort Steele, and they've already been acknowledged in their capacity as hosting, and I would once again like to acknowledge what they've done for helping us serve. Needless to say, we very much appreciated their help. It's the kind of thing that I think we in Rotary, we demonstrate what we believe and what we live by putting on this kind of evening. It's a pleasure for me to welcome all of you to our city of Cranbrook. Somehow I don't really think of it as being Cranbrook, I think of it as being the center of Rotary for District 508 on this particular. President Bill, it is certainly a pleasure for me as a Rotarian and as the mayor of this community to welcome you and Peggy to our community. As a token of our appreciation on behalf of the citizens of Cranbrook and the area, I would ask you to come forward so that I could make this presentation to you as a memento of your visit. Where is it? The coordination of this evening was not purely mine. I want you to know that there were a number of key Rotarians that were involved. Randy, Nick, Stuart, Dave, and others who I haven't even mentioned, who did an outstanding job. Do you know that we served 440 people in 25 minutes with what I consider to be a first-class meal?
Ladies and gentlemen, what can you say when you have a man like that and the people that helped him? I think that it was an outstanding job, and I think that we as Rotarians can be duly proud. What I'm going to do in due course is to have President Bill and Peggy come up here and open the presentation so that everybody here can see what they are. But not now. We'll do that towards the end of the program so that they don't have to be running up and down the stairs. The next person I'm going to call on is the president of the Cranbrook Rotary Club, Harvey Gansner, to say a few words on behalf of the club and the visit of President Bill.
Welcome to the Cranbrook area and District 508 in particular. President Bill and Peggy. Tonight we have close to 450 people here, and we've been able to have as guests 10 members of the Rotary Stock Villa, our old folks home, which is situated by Joseph's Creek. We also have as a guest Archie McKinnen, who is Eric McKinnen's son, the fellow on whose behalf the park was dedicated by R.I. President Bill Skelton this afternoon. Today we have approximately 25 clubs to 30 clubs represented, and we do have a Green Eagle Feather Award. And that is to the club that can prove that they came the furthest distance. And in that regard, we have a certificate which will entitle them to one free roll of film developed by the darkroom. And if any of you are interested in getting your films processed so that you can go back to your clubs at the beginning of the week, the darkroom will be able to process them tomorrow. This is not a paid announcement. No share. After the theater is finished for this evening, there will be a no-host reception back at the Inn of the South for anybody who's interested in the ballroom. Again, you will be able to see our Cranbrook proposed Rotary Clock Tower project and photos and different things of projects that we've been able to accomplish in the past. Tonight has truly been a team effort involving a great number of different Rotarians. However, we couldn't have done it without the help of other people who are non-Rotarians. For instance, Struan Robertson and Ken Zararsky from Fort Steele. Gene Vickers kindly donated the PA system out by the tents. Al and Don from King's Computer agreed to send out 2 letters and even more important, the bills to each club. The secretaries, Melissa and Heather, took care of keeping track of what tickets were sold. Tink Robinson from the show here arranged to cooperate and make this presentation especially geared to our club in District 508 and Peggy and Bill. It's been said that luck is preparation meeting opportunity. And some of the problems that we've overcome is getting a liquor license. First obstacle was, well, you have to have a building. You have to have a park permit. That was finally signed 2 days before this event. We loomised a check for $1,300 for 3 tents over to Calgary, a 40 by 40, a 30 by 30, and a 20 by 20. We phoned them and they said, yes, we've got your check for $1,300, but what's it about? And this was 3 days before. They said, well, we don't have tents that size. Finally, the right person came forward and said that he had particularly put these tents aside for the Cranbrook Rotary Club, and all was well until the tents arrived and there were no instructions as to how to put them on. We faced financing difficulties. We got definite word that Rotary International could be of no help. We knew we couldn't depend on any of the other clubs. And we faced a potential physical faux pas. However, the proof of the team effort is having 440 people here today. President Bill, your theme this year has been Share Rotary and Serve People. I can certainly vouch that the Cranbrook Club has done their best to share Rotary and set the stage for you to inspire people to serve people. Thank you.
Thanks, Harvey. Needless to say, without Harvey's cajoling and prodding and his many long telephone calls, this job would never have been done. Believe me. We chuckle a little about Harvey because he spends a lot of time on the phone, but sometime I'm going to be able to tell you the story about the 2-man sledgehammer.
Tell us now.
Well, Harvey phoned the other day and wanted 10 sledgehammers. And John Hayes told him that he didn't think we needed 10, that maybe he should phone Lawrence McKinnen. So Lawrence said to Harvey, he said, well, really, Harvey, he said, we don't need 10 sledgehammers, what we need are 5 2-man sledgehammers. So Harvey got back to John and said, well, John, I've got to solve the problem. He said, what we need are 5 2-man sledgehammers. And of course, that's a little bit like a left-handed monkey wrench and a bottle of kill spirits and, you know, those things. So we were having a little chuckle at Harvey's expense. The next person I'm going to call upon is somebody who really needs no introduction, but maybe he does, because I don't think he's been to all of our clubs yet, not until the end of November. And some of you may not have met him if you've not been to the district conference. But in any event, you're going to meet him now, and he's going to introduce the international president, and that is District Governor Rex McKinnen.
Thank you, Leo, President Bill, Peggy, fellow Rotarians, Rotarians, and guests. Before I introduce Bill, I think I would be remiss say welcome to District 508, to Peggy and Bill, and also Harold and May Henderson. We are 41 clubs. Certainly Cranbrook has taken the spotlight. And I must also, in addition to welcoming you, say to the Cranbrook Club, well done, because you have done a marvelous job. And from the other 40 clubs in District 508, our thanks to the Cranbrook Club for doing what they did in our district. I'm going to use the shortened version to introduce President Bill. If any of you want the long version, look up your July Rotarian. There's 2 pages on Bill and Peggy. But Bill Skelton is Dean Emeritus of the Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University. He was born in Dinwiddie County in Virginia. He earned degrees at Virginia Polytechnic Institute and Cornell University, and did postdoctoral study at the University of Wisconsin. Mr. Skelton, or Bill as we better know him better as, has been national president of the Epsilon Sigma Phi, a professional organization that specializes in adult education and 4-H programs. Now, as you know, that's related to the agricultural end of things, I believe, and there's a good long 3 or 4 paragraphs on the work that Bill has done in 4-H. Of course, now he's associated with a very high office in Rotary, where we have our 3-H. So I think that Bill has at least 4 plus 3 is 7 H's. As a matter of fact, I think he's got another one because he serves on the board of the Virginia Council of Health and Medical Care and the S.H. Hieronymus Company. And there's another 8, so he's up to 8. And is chairman of the board of directors of the First National Exchange Bank of Blacksburg. He twice received the Superior Service Award from the U.S. government for outstanding service to people and administrative performance. Bill has been a Rotarian since 1955, and he's a member and a past president of the Rotary Club of Christiansburg, Blacksburg. And there I said it, and I'm proud. All the way up in the Tri-Cities yesterday, as I was driving, or as Marion was driving, I kept saying Christiansburg, Blacksburg, and I could get it turned around. She said, no, stop for a while. But, you know, that's longer than all the things that they grow in Virginia, isn't it? Isn't it cotton, corn, and taters that they say? I think here's a very fine example of maybe a club that should be broken up in extensions. But anyway, in case you are unable to recollect Christiansburg, Blacksburg, if you will count the number of cogs on the rotary wheel, you will find that there's exactly the same number as there is in the name of Bill's home club. And you can start a game and you can see what you can put together, and you may be able to come up with it. So, I would, in closing, say that Bill has served Rotary International, of course, as a district governor, committee chairman, director, and vice president. A very warm welcome to you, Bill and Peggy, and I'd ask Bill if he would come up and now address the group.
here, but Peggy knows that with my bifocals I can't read it, so it really doesn't mean anything. I told Harvey, president of Cranbrook Rotary Club, I said, I know exactly what you've been saying. I know exactly what the membership has been saying. Why in the world did the president of Rotary International ever decide to come to Cranbrook? I went through this once as club president, and I thought, my goodness, what did we do to deserve that? But after all, it was a wonderful experience. It helped our club to come together as a group, to do things together as a group. Christiansburg, Blacksburg is two towns 8 miles apart. They couldn't decide when the club was formed whether it would be called Christiansburg or Blacksburg, so they called it Christiansburg, Blacksburg. And what really complicates it, and Rex probably didn't pick this up, we got ready to form a second Rotary Club there 3 years ago. And so went through the same thing. We tried all kinds of names and came back to Christiansburg, Blacksburg. So now we have a Christiansburg, Blacksburg Evening Rotary Club. We have a Christiansburg, Blacksburg Noon Rotary Club. And now they're working on a Christiansburg, Blacksburg Breakfast Rotary Club. And it's all in a community of 15,000 people. I appreciate the opportunity this evening to visit with you just a little bit on Share Rotary Serve People. And having the opportunity today to participate in the dedication of the McKinnen Rotary Park is a prime example of how Rotary clubs do things together to serve people. In sharing Rotary, Share Rotary Serve People, I would like to visit with you for just a few moments on Share and Serve. Share Rotary. By that, what we want to do is get the 925,000 Rotarians in 157 countries of the world to share our talents and our abilities, our know-how and our resources to help people help themselves or serve people. First, we have to do an outstanding job in the community in which our Rotary Club serves. And I'm very pleased that we have so many different Rotary clubs present. And I want to compliment all of the Rotary clubs on the things that you're doing in your communities. This comes first. But in this country, as in the United States, Canada, Great Britain, and Japan, and Australia, New Zealand, a lot of other developed countries, we have enough resources that we can do a good job in our communities, but we can help Rotarians in other countries, in undeveloped countries, to do things that they can't do by themselves. So this is a Share Rotary. And I will talk just briefly on what we do to serve people through our international programs. But the strength of Rotary is in the individual Rotary Club, the Rotarians. That's all the resources that we have. We don't have any other resources. It's a volunteer organization. So the second component of Share Rotary is that I'm asking the 925,000 Rotarians this year, through meetings of this kind and through the written word and some videotapes, I'm asking every Rotarian, do you not know one person that you have confidence in that's not now a Rotarian? One person. All I'm asking, do you not know one person that you have confidence in that's not now a Rotarian? And if you do, I'm asking that you propose that person for membership, either in an existing club or by creating a new Rotary Club. This is very important because the needs of Rotary, both in our own communities and worldwide, the needs are increasing. And if we're going to do more to serve people and to help people help themselves, it means that we must increase our resources. The strength of Rotary is in the individual Rotary Club. The Rotary Club does nothing more than to combine the know-how and the resources of its membership into a club so that you can do things as a club that you can't do as individual Rotarians. Then we should say the district. The district combines the Rotary clubs. And then we have to say, what is Rotary International? Rotary International gives direction and helps organize this great team of volunteers throughout the world. But Rotary International is not the program. The strength of Rotary is that the needs of what Rotary is going to do starts with the individual Rotarians in individual Rotary clubs. Now we have Rotary clubs in other parts of the world. They go through the same process that we go through. So let's take just a quick look at what you and I are doing in Rotary. What you're doing as a Rotarian, what I'm doing as a Rotarian, and what we do as a group, and the things that Rotary International help us to do on an international basis that an individual Rotary Club could not do. First, this year, you and I, as Rotarians, we'll make it possible for 1,154 young men and women to go to a country other than their own to study for 1 year. And we met the young man over here to my left that's here on the Rotary Scholarship. In addition, we will have between 7,000 and 8,000 young people on the youth exchange, and you met those, and Peggy and I met those today. We have about 750 going on group study exchange. 5 young men and women will go to all women go to a country other than their own, and they'll stay for 6 months, and they'll come back. Now that's the what. But why do you and I in Rotary International make contributions to the Rotary Foundation to do this? The contribution we make is an investment, but an investment in what? The investment is for world peace and understanding. That's why we have these programs that I've just announced. This is our long-term objective, because we know that good peace and goodwill doesn't come easy. But these young people have been selected on basis of their citizenship qualities, their leadership qualities, their character, and the potential we think they have for the future. You and I make the selection. We make the selection in our local Rotary clubs, and we do the best we can to select those that have the greatest potential. Now, over a period of time, we already see evidence of this, that these young people that we select rise to positions of leadership in their countries. Whatever country you want to talk about, they use some process to arrive at who is in government. The process determines how these people get there. But once people are in the leadership roles in the country, it's the people that make the decision. So it's not proper to say that X country made a decision to go into combat and hostilities against another. People made the decision. So our long-term objective is that we hope throughout the world that we'll have people that have participated in the scholarship programs and the youth exchange programs over a period of time rise to leadership positions at all levels in government, so that we'll have people there that are dealing with each other, that know each other, and place great value on the human being. So when we make a contribution to the Rotary Foundation, it's not a contribution in the terms that some people will use it. It's an investment in the things that I have just mentioned. And in return, the Rotary Foundation will give you a certificate designating you a Paul Harris Fellow if you give a certain amount of money. But if you don't want to be recognized, then you can do it anonymously. I want to congratulate the Rotary clubs that are here this evening, because you and the others in the district, you have now invested almost $350,000 into the program that I've mentioned. We have 230-some Paul Harris Awards. Now I would like to visit with you just briefly on what are our short-term programs. What are you and I doing on the short-term basis to share Rotary, to serve people? During the past, since becoming president-elect and as president this July 1, over that period of time, I've had an opportunity to see things that I want to report to you on. Because this is what you and I are doing. In the Philippines, the Rotarians in the Philippines said our priority is to eliminate polio. Here in Canada and in the United States, polio is something we talk about that happened in some dark history in the past. But I can assure you that in the Philippines and Bolivia and Gambia and Haiti and Morocco and so on, and a lot of the third world countries, polio is a major disease that the people have. I saw more crippled people in the Philippines in a few days than I've ever seen in my life. So you and I, through our contributions to the Rotary Foundation, we are making it possible to eliminate polio in the Philippines. The program now has been underway 18 months. It will be completed in another 18 months. The World Health Organization tells us at this point we have already noticed a 65% decrease after 18 months. And you and I are doing this at an average cost of 12 to 14 cents per person. And when it was done the other way, when they did it through governmental channels and other groups tried to do it, it was running $12 to $14 per person. And the people in the Philippines, as a lot of these other countries, can't spend $14 for an injection. Now, how can we do it so cheaply? We do it because first the Rotary clubs in the Philippines have made a commitment that they themselves are going to put a tremendous effort into the organization of it. And then we have Rotarians and share Rotary serve people that volunteer their time and go there and work without any compensation for their time that they're there to work with the medical profession to do these things. For example, Harold Henderson, who's my aide for the year, I give him as an example, and there are others. He has volunteered his time, and he's going to Hong Kong in this spring for 4 to 6 weeks to give of his time in dental work to all of the people, the refugees there, or commonly known as boat people. It's too much for the Rotary clubs in Hong Kong to do alone. So that's what you and I are doing. Now I could give you other examples, and just briefly, in India is measles. One Rotary club there they run an orphanage for 1,200. I went there, out of the 1,200, 300 were blind from measles. This year, you and I are going to make a start in India. We're going to make it possible to vaccinate 2 million children against measles, so that they won't end up losing their eyesight. In other countries, it would be different things. In Costa Rica, is helping to provide wheelchairs for the crippled. In Honduras, is a medical team to do basic surgery. In Haiti, fresh water, a medical clinic, and so on. But my point I want to make is that you and I, we are the ones that are making it possible to do this. In all of the things that we do in Rotary, the women, the ladies, the wives of the Rotarians are very much an important part. Peggy has been a great help to me in all of the things that I have attempted to do in Rotary, and makes a significant contribution. And I would like to, before closing, share the mic with her for just a moment so that she might say a few words to the ladies and would do it better than I could. So Peggy, if you would say a few words to the ladies.
I'm going to appreciate Bill giving me an opportunity to say a few words, because first it gives me a chance to say thank you. Thank you for sharing this experience with us. As we had a chance to meet many of you this afternoon, we learned that you've come from a number of communities, and some of you traveled great distances. And we do appreciate the cooperation, the hard work, and the efforts that you've all made to make this a very, very special occasion for us. It's our very first visit in this area of the world, and it's a beautiful part of the country. We do appreciate being here. And I say yes, thank you for the climate. You apologize for the weather, but for us it's delightful. It's the first cool weather we've experienced since about the 1st of May. It seems everywhere we've traveled for the Rotary world, it's been very, very hot weather, so thank you. I would like to say a word to the ladies of Rotary. I would like to urge you and encourage you to support your husbands in whatever it is that he's doing in Rotary. There are many, many ways that the wives of Rotarians can and do support the different Rotary projects and programs. And I would encourage you to continue that support and even increase that support. Because the more that you support your husband as a Rotarian, the better Rotarian he can be. So I would encourage you to do as much as you can to help him. There are many things, such as having the youth exchange students in the home, where the wife most often has the greatest responsibility for that being a success. There are many, many projects that go on in local communities, where in many times 4 hands are better than 2. So I would encourage you to do as much as you can to support him, so he can be the best Rotarian. And as you do that, I would hope that you feel as I do. When I support Bill, whatever he's doing in Rotary, that whatever support I can give him is my very small contribution to helping Rotary meet that overall objective of world understanding and peace. Thank you.
As I indicated in the beginning, you have an outstanding Rotary program in this district. And through District Governor Rex, I like to, express appreciation to what you're doing in the RALA program, the Youth Exchange program, the contributions to the Rotary Foundation, all the Rotary Foundation programs, the assistance that you give to the 3H program, and then to the president of the Cranbrook Rotary Club, Harvey, I'd like to ask you to express our thanks to all of the many people that have done so much to make this event successful. And Leo, the others that you could express appreciation. Peggy and I have tried to, thank each of you as we met you, but it's hard to make sure that you can express the proper appreciation to all of the people. It's my hope that all of the Rotary clubs in here this year will receive the presidential citation that I'm giving. I set certain goals and standards. I think it's within reach of every Rotary club in the world to receive a presidential citation. And when we do that, we will share Rotary and serve people. We will be looking forward to seeing many of you in the convention in Birmingham, England next year. And this reminds me that when Peg and I were over in England in 1979, we went to some district conferences. And we got down in a part of England, and they couldn't understand me, and I couldn't understand them. And y'all may have noticed by by now that I might have a Tidewater, Virginia accent. But anyway, I said to these people there in England, I said, you know, I grew up about 60 miles from Jamestown, Virginia, where the first English settlement was in 1607. And my family, Skelton, came over in 1609. Now, you sent the Skelton family over, and then you're getting back what you sent. In closing, I'd like to share with you my beliefs in Rotary. I thought that if I was going to be your president during this year, that I should take the time to put down in writing what is it that I believe that Rotary can do? What can you and I do? And so I would close and would like to share with you my beliefs. I believe in Rotary, the hopes, aspirations, and dedication of its members, and in their right to make service and fellowship meaningful to all members and to other people. I believe Rotary can enrich the lives of those less fortunate. I believe Rotary can stimulate individual initiative and self-determination to help people in need help themselves. I believe Rotary can help people to act not only for self-improvement, but for the improvement of society. I believe the programs of Rotary are an ongoing process, and that one of the greatest organizations serving people is Rotary. I believe Rotary strives to create trust where there is chaos, understanding where there is doubt, fellowship where there is loneliness and misunderstanding, and health and happiness where there is poverty and disease. I believe through Rotary we can identify the needs of people on a priority basis and use our resources effectively without bias and with courteous tolerance for the views of others. I believe Rotary works to bring together people of all races, religions, and political beliefs. I believe Rotary provides for fellowship and understanding, creating a bond which enables people to unite in service despite individual differences. I believe Rotary can advance international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional men united in the ideal of service. I believe in the opportunities I have to serve through Rotary and make life more useful to mankind. Because I believe in these things, I'm a Rotarian. Thank you very much for allowing Peg and I to share this wonderful afternoon and evening with you.
Now could I ask Harold Henderson, the President's aide, to say a word or two.
Thank you, Chairman Leo. Thank you for your wonderful words, President Bill, Peggy. This has been a fun time for May and I because we've run into a number of people that we met at your district conference in 1977 in Spokane. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say what a wonderful time we had at that time and we're enjoying ourselves at this time. I had one main reason for getting up here. Harvey passed along a message for you, Leo, and I was wondering how I was going to get it to you. I'll read it out because it gives me something to do. Would you announce that there are 50 tea times reserved at the Cranbrook Golf Club from 9:45 to 11 o'clock on Friday? And it's signed Harvey. I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I'm looking forward to the program that's coming up. Thank you on behalf of May and I for being so kind in your welcome to my friend and our president of Rotary International, Bill Skelton. Thank you.
Time is moving along, and we've got just one more function to perform. I would ask Bill and Peggy to make their way up here if they would. And I'm going to thank all of those Rotarians who have driven so far to support us in this program. One of the things I asked President Bill at supper, I said, how can you possibly visit 20,000 clubs in a year? And he said, well, it depends on whether I'm visiting one club here in Cranbrook or 35 or 40. So he said, that's the way I do it. Is Brian O'Hara here? Brian O'Hara? Would you stand up, Brian? Just to introduce Brian, Brian is the GSE team leader to England. He was chosen a week ago last Saturday at our meeting in Spokane, and I think he's going to make a first-class leader. Can I call on Rex to come up now and make a presentation, please?
I'm glad that Leo called Bill and Peggy up here, because this is for both of you as a memento of your visit to District 508. And since Leo said that you had to open them, well, you have to open them. So, Peggy, I imagine you're a little more adept at this than Bill.
I don't know, she tries to save the paper.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you very much.
By word of explanation, these are pewter salad servers, which of course, they're made in Canada. They're made of metal, of which the Kootenays are very famous in both Canada and the United States. And it also has the totem pole, which is very synonymous with all of British Columbia. There's various faces, animals, and so on. We didn't know what this was, Bill, but we did a little research on what the meaning of the totem pole on these salad servers were. And as near as we could come up with, it says, share Rotary, serve people.
It also is inscribed, and it says to the Skeltons, District 508, September 1983. We do appreciate these. It's been a special evening, and these are very special things we will use to remember this occasion. Thank you very much.
I'd like to express appreciation to the mayor. I know he's a good cook. And if a person is that good a cook, you must be a good mayor. So Peg and I want to express appreciation very much for this lovely tray. And when we get back home July 1, we'll have a nice place in our home for all of these things to remember this wonderful occasion.
Oh, wait. It isn't over yet. Mike Connor, Preachuk, please.
President Bill, you probably know a few white hard hats around the audience. And this identifies the Fernie Club, District 508 at functions such as this and special occasions at other clubs. And on behalf of the Fernie Rotary Club, I left home today to bring my hat with me. Looked it on the bus and didn't have my name on it. So on behalf of the Fernie Rotary Club, it has your name on it, Bill. I'd but to have mental
This is just what I need when I go back home to play golf.
And finally, I have a little presentation to make. I'm making this on behalf of the 33 Rylarians that were at the Ryler camp last week at Deer Lake, Washington, which is about 25 miles north of Spokane. Those 33 Rylarians really show what Rotary is about, and it's a program that I'm very proud of. What they wanted me to do was to present to President Bill and Peggy a Ryla 1983 t-shirt.
Well, since we've loaded down Bill and Peggy so much, I wonder if Harold Henderson would come up and receive a small token of our appreciation. Harold, I don't know what presidential aides expect, but I don't think that they should go away empty-handed. And although we weren't able to engrave this because we couldn't get close enough to it, but it does represent, it's a wild animal, but it does represent certainly the East Kootenays, and they've taken quite a part in this fair tonight, this afternoon tonight. So on behalf of District 508, to you and May, with our regard, a small presentation.
Thank you, Greg. Totally unnecessary, but most appreciated. Thank you very much.
Since he's not going to open it, because I suspect that May has to be involved in this, what it is a bear carved out of coal. And,
I was afraid to open it. I thought it might be a time bomb.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're running a little bit behind. I see the show is about to begin. One last word. I want to thank all of the members of the Cranbrook Rotary Club who made this evening a success. And without their help, it wouldn't have come off at all. And there were a lot of doubting Thomases about a month ago who thought it wouldn't. Thank you very much.